What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about worst case scenario for a unit on Dokkan Battle? Personally, for me, I think it's when a unit is considered dead on arrival. Now, the meaning for this should be pretty literal. When a unit comes out, there's just no purpose for it. It has no linking partners, it has no good teams, the kit isn't good enough, whatever it may be. Now, this also can pertain to an easy A, where it's just underwhelming. They leave a massive hole in the unit that they don't want to fix, and, you know, overall, it just kind of leads to the unit never having any true usage. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to 5-9 Mobile. My name is Vilify, and today we're going to be taking a look at 5 of the most dead on arrival units that we have seen throughout Dokkan history. Now, if you find yourself liking today's list, don't forget to leave a like if you do enjoy the video, and subscribe if you are new around here so you don't miss out on the daily Dokkan Battle content. So, without further ado, let's hop into some honorable mentions. Now, the first honorable mention that we have is our girl STR Kefla. She came out during 2020, right around the time that the global first UI Goku came out. So the problem with this unit was her best friend, STR Kaba, was really exclusive because he was on one of those 50% type support banners, right? And without the STR orb changing that Kaba does, it is really hard for Kefla to kind of unlock her full passive, because her kit revolves around getting 6 orbs in order for her to get a dodge chance and an additional attack buff, right? So what you kind of run into is this dilemma where you're never getting her full ability, and even when you do get this full ability, it's up to a dodge chance, right? So maybe you're thinking of taking her into Universe 6 Super Battle Road at the time. I think that was a stage, right? And she has to dodge, and you put her in slot 1, you get her 6 orbs, and she doesn't dodge. And even though, like, 6 orbs is hard to get, right? 3 orbs, 4 orbs, okay, but when you kind of get up to that 5, 6, 7, 8, like, you think of someone like, and especially when they're not doing their own rainbow orb changing, right? You think of a unit like Physical Kid Goku and how he needs 7 orbs to unlock his passive. He does the rainbow orb changing on his own, so therefore you get those 7 orbs much easier, so that way he gives the damage reduction support to the rotation, right? But with STR Kefla, you don't have that. And when her best friend is a unit that, you know, a vast majority, I'd say 99% of players aren't going to have, just because that banner never comes back, right? Like, we hadn't seen it in years up to that point. So, I'd say STR Kefla is definitely an honorable mention, and then another honorable mention that we have is the physical Broly trio that came out during the 5-year anniversary. Now, there's actually something kind of fun about this unit, right? This physical Broly trio has big bad bosses, right? Broly from Dragon Ball Super Broly, none of his units have big bad bosses. Chilai, the Int Chilai that just came out recently on JP Dokkan, and Global Dokkan actually, does not have big bad bosses. So you know what that means? Lemo is the big bad boss. Does that mean he's a double agent? I don't know, but, you know, you got to think about it, right? Lemo, he's the only reason that they have big bad bosses, so yeah, but, you know, jokes aside, this kind of unit is in a tricky spot, as he is just kind of there, right? He has, like, some fun animations. I think he might have the cutest win screen in the game, if you want to call it that, with Chilai, Lemo, and Broly or whatever, but there's just not too much going on here, right? He gets a lot. They get dodge chance with a certain amount of orbs. They are kind of like a, you know, they weren't up to snuff with everything that kind of came out at the time, right? And they were one of those units that actually requires a lot of brain power to be able to use. Okay, so with Broly's passive, what you want to do is kind of put that up on the screen right now, right? You can see that each different type of orb, a certain type of orbs that you get, does different things for the rotation, right? Whether it be attack support, defense support, dodge chance, stuff like that. This is just one of those units that has never really had a team to flesh out on. I think they're on 3 categories still to this day, maybe even 2. I know they're on movie bosses and joint forces, right? I want to say those are the only categories they're on. But, you know, it sucks because there was just never a place for this unit, right? Even when it came out during the 5-year anniversary. They were overshadowed by units like LR Rose, LR Gogeta, LR Vegito. It's just, you know, they've really never had a place to hash out and kind of show their full potential, right? Even with this Int Chilai coming out, it still isn't enough, right? Like, maybe the Easy A will save this unit, but I just don't see it, right? Okay, so that'll conclude the honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and hop into our top 5 dead on arrival units. Coming in at number 5, we have 17 and Golden Frieza that came out during the 6-year anniversary. Now, if you just want to talk about units that were underwhelming and disappointing from the start, this is one of those units, right? They came on the top legendary summon for part 2 during the 6-year anniversary, and next to them was the Android 17 with Universe 7, and they were just much more impressive than Golden Frieza and 17, right? Golden Frieza and 17 need to build up. They have a really annoying active skill where you have to super 4 times. If you guys remember the Int Broly active skill arc with all the arguing, the basis for that came from the fact that this unit had the same thing, where they had to super 4 times and you never saw it, right? And just with the way that team worked, you know, we talked about how the physical blue boys were kind of bullied off of that team, which is how good the Universe 7 team was at the time. These guys never even had a chance to be on the team in the first place. So that would be kind of like my overall gauge for that, right? So 17 and Golden Frieza coming in at number 5. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have STR Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Now, I know this one might come with a bit of controversy, but if we just kind of want to look at the way this release came out, his, especially at the 55% level, this guy defensively just could not hold his own, right? He needed to get hit to build up. His defense never really got that high. His attack could get pretty impressive for a little bit of a point, and he has a very good active skill, but that active skill is very tough to pull off in difficult content. And I would say that this guy, aside from being a global first and just kind of a hype character, I would say that's all that there is here. When we look at the kit on this guy, it's just nothing too impressive, right? You know, it's just when you need to get those hits to build up defensively and you have no defense to build up in the beginning, it's just not good, right? So STR Kaioken Blue Goku, not too much to say other than him. He's just a little bit underwhelming, so we're going to go ahead and put him in the number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3, we have SSJ3 Broly, Tech Super Saiyan 3 Broly to be specific. Now, if you guys don't know and you didn't play during this time, I didn't, but I've done my homework. There was actually a way with this guy that you could literally get him to 0 defense. I'm talking a flat goose egg, not 20k defense, not 10k defense. We're talking literally 0 defense when you get him a bunch of tech orbs, right? Because in his kit, they have this just dumb idea where it's if you get a certain amount of orbs, you lose defense, right? So that is something that we haven't really seen much anymore. We've seen units shedding defense on super attacks, on active skills and stuff like that, but the fact that we get orbs here and you just get basic orbs and then you lose defense and you can literally get to 0, and even with the EZA, they left this in. Like, even the EZA was dead on arrival because they left in such a fatal flaw that it doesn't even matter. Super Saiyan 3 Broly has never had a period where he could shine and really show off and be really good. Yeah, sure, offense is great, but when you literally have 0 defense in any content, like, what are you supposed to do with that, right? Now, obviously, he doesn't get 0 defense anymore, but dead on arrival with release and dead on arrival with EZAs was kind of like the shell, right? Because we were thinking it's like, okay, this is just, they're going to leave these 120 EZAs kind of this underwhelming, they're going to leave these flaws in. But then the next one that comes after that is AGL Super 17, who still is like a top 10 EZA in the game to this day. And he's 2 years old now at this point, right? So it's really disappointing, I would say, just to see how this Tech Broly was handled. But, you know, nonetheless, let's go ahead and move into our number 2 spot. Coming in at number 2, we have the initial release of Tech Hit. Now, this guy just never, like, until his EZA, he was just, like, on arrival, he was just done. Like, he didn't have good linking partners, his teams weren't great. We're thinking Universal Survival Saga, who are you really going to link with him? He defensively can't hold his own, he doesn't hit very hard, but, you know, maybe, well, not maybe he did hit kind of hard, right? He was hitting like 2-3 million back then, which was pretty hard. But just defensively, this guy never had the utility. He had like a stun chance or whatever, but it really took to this guy to get his EZA to be like an overall like impressive unit, right? Which sucks, but it is what it is. The EZA really went ahead and fixed this guy, but if you remember, this guy, like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, was a global first. And with these global firsts, that's actually 3, no, because Kefla came out first on JP, but the second global first on this list, and, you know, it just wasn't good enough, right? That's always kind of been the thing with Dead on Arrival, right? Not good enough. Like, sometimes a unit can be okay, but not good enough is like kind of like an understatement with this Tech Hit, right? So he's taking our number 2 spot. Now, coming in at number 1, everyone's favorite unit. I would imagine, before we say it, you can guess it in the comment section below, but he's a Saiyan. He has long hair. It's black long hair, to be specific. He came out in 2022. His name is Raditz. I'm sure you guys saw this coming. This was one of the most meme releases of all time. A really bad celebration, saved by a Turles EZA. There's just nothing to say about this Raditz that hasn't been said to oblivion at this point, but not good offense, not good defense. He's an AoE, he has nothing. What do you suppose? Like, this is one of those units that you could skip and never get, and you'd be okay with it, right? It's a good thing that they decided that Raditz was going to be the unit that they were going to make bad, because there's not many Raditz fans in this world, and if you are a Raditz fan, I'm sorry that this had to happen to you, but he is far and away one of the worst, if not the worst, releases in the game. With the power creep of the 7-year anniversary, we're coming off of units like, you know, Tech Goku and Vegeta. We're coming off of the Super Saiyan 4s, and you're left with Raditz, who just isn't even 1% of what these 7-year anniversary LRs are, right? Because, you know, the progressive things with TURs, right? Like, you know, we got to see the creep, right? Now, no one was expecting Raditz to be better than the 7-year anniversary units, but we expected him to be better than AGL Trunks. We expected him to be better than the Tech Androids. We expected him to be better than STR Kid Buu. Because if you just look around at some of the TURs that have come out this year, we have Physical Kid Goku. We have Android 8 as a banner unit. We have Gamma 1, Gamma 2. We have, who else was the Dokkan Fest this year? We have Trunks and Vegeta, right? And you just think of some of these other units, and then there's just Raditz, who looks like his shell was made in 2019. They were just like, oh, we don't have a unit to release this month. All right, let's just go ahead and throw that Raditz that we designed 3 years ago out. We'll just update the animations and call it quits, right? So there's a lot to talk about with Raditz, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to call him dead on arrival, and in my opinion, one of the worst, if not the worst, release in Dokkan history. Did not perform well on the top grossing charts, did not perform well in the game, and no one was excited. Everyone was laughing at how bad this guy was, but that's going to go ahead and conclude our dead on arrival units list. Let me know what you guys think of the units down below. I'm sure Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku is going to get a little bit of controversy, but it is what it is. I don't make the rules. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy today's list, and subscribe if you are new here to 59 Mobile. We post Dokkan content all the time here, and I would not want you to miss out on any of the good stuff that we post. My name has been Vilified. It's been a pleasure hosting for you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.